showing a build which features Assail as its main weapon. Assail will stagger your enemies, it'll kill hordes and elites and specials, and it will gain you toughness. And I'll show you exactly how that works. But first, let's take a look at Assail. You throw homing projectiles, which is less effective against carapace armor. This doesn't tell you that Assail staggers, and it does. So Assail has two attack modes. It has the standard left click and then a right click. The right click will highlight the enemy that it will home in on, and it will do more damage, and it will tend to hit the head more often. So most people know Assail for its horde clearing ability. With the extra node that allows it to pierce, it'll hit up to 3 enemies, and it might hit the same enemy multiple times if they survive the first hit. It's kind of very random whether it will hit 1 or 3, but it generally consistently will hit 2 or 3. The homing is actually really good. You can see here that I'm targeting these walkers, but if I jump, I can target that sniper in the back. So the homing is just extremely powerful and does relatively good damage. Let me show you on this Berserker. Not the best target for Assail, but it can damage it pretty well, especially if you have space to do that. So I'm going to quickly show you which elites and specials you should be assailing and which elites and specials you should not be assailing. So we'll just go quickly through that. Okay, starting with the things that are very easy to kill with Assail, you've got your non-elite trash stuff. Gunners are quite good at being killed by this, by Assail. Shotgunners as well. And then you have specialists like grenaders, trappers, flamers, and snipers. These all die relatively easy to assail. So, assail those. Then we're getting into the things that are more difficult. You can stagger dogs really well with Assail, but it's probably best to just finish them off with something else afterwards. And then here we have sort of like medium okay to kill with Assail. Bulwark is actually surprising. If you do it just right, you can open up their shield with Assail very easily. Finish them off with another weapon. Here we have Ragers. They don't take a lot of damage from Assail at all. So, yeah, if you've got the resources, you can do it, but it's probably best to use something else. Bursters, don't assail bursters. You'll knock them down towards you. You'll cause problems. If you see a burster, deal with it with a different way. Muties just don't take enough damage from Assail to be worth it. Same with Maulers. And then you have the big boys here. Crushers and Reapers. Fortunately, this build has ways to deal with these harder targets. So I'll get into that later. With that brief on Assail out of the way, let's get into the build. First of all, Soul Stealer and Metal. You may be wondering, is this character able to have survivability without Quietude and Warp Expenditure? Well, let me show you what it looks like when I lose Toughness. Alright, so go ahead and do that again with some cultist melee. Alright, I'm on stam, on toughness. I'm at full toughness. If you're in trouble, break out the Assail and start hitting things with it, and you'll be fine. The next element of the build is Perilous Combustion, Venting Shriek, and Creeping Flames. Very straightforward. If you kill elites, the 3 stacks of Soul Blaze will stack with other enemies nearby. If you kill 2 elites, if you kill 3 elites, that's 9. Alright, you shriek on them, it's 15 stacks of Soul Blaze. Anything with like 12 stacks of Soul Blaze on it is going to die. Anything with 6 stacks of Soul Blaze that's like Walker is going to die. It just increases your damage by an insane amount, and also you can see here that Soul Blaze kills will also replenish your toughness. So it's quite good. We go from Assail into Seer's Presence just to get Venting Shriek back faster, but also one with a Warp. This is a great talent. You're going to be at high peril often, and this just makes your toughness go that much farther. Any build that you can gain toughness damage reduction, I'd say go for it. So then we come down to the bottom and the Keystone. Warp Rider just increases your damage for having high peril, which is very good. Works on all your weapons. And then Kinetic Deflection. Kinetic Deflection, not Kinetic Deflection. Disrupt Destiny. Kinetic Deflection is great. When you block, you gain peril instead of losing stamina. Anyways, True Aim. Landing 5 weak spot hits grants you your next range attack, a guaranteed critical. Again, Assail can hit up to 3 targets per shard, and that could be 3 weak spot hits. Especially if you're using right click to aim, this is more and more likely. This makes your crit chance go from the base crit chance of Psyker is 7.5. So with this build, my base crit chance is 12.5, which is half of 25%. It's pretty good, but True Aim increases that much more. Because, like I said, each Assail shard could hit up to 3 weak spot hits. Those all count up towards the crit. So when you're throwing Assail shards, you are guaranteeing yourself more crits. And this also is very useful for the secondary ranged weapon that we bring on this build. But what really makes this build work is Disrupt Destiny. Alright, we're focused on weak spot hits, we're focused on crits. And Disrupt Destiny increases the amount of damage both weak spot and crits do. So it sort of multiplies together to create a ton of damage. In this build, I've just realized that Lingering Influence allows me to more consistently have these stacks. And then of course weak spot kills, which is what we're focusing on, gets 2 additional Disrupt Destiny stacks. So it's very easy to maintain those stacks. Now, I'm not taking this because I don't find I need a use for it. My toughness gain is good enough. So I'm just going to quickly show you how Disrupt Destiny works. It highlights enemies in this blue light, and then each time you get a weak spot kill, you go up 3 instead of just 1. Alright, and the more stacks you have, the harder your weak spot hits and the harder your crits are. And of course, if you do both, it will do that much better. Alright, so you see there I nearly one-shot it with a non-crit hit. Now that we're at 15 stacks, that was a non-weak spot crit. Yes, there's a random element to this. Very much a random element to this. There you go. Non-crit weak spot hit kill on this cultist shotgunner. So as our stacks build, our killing potential with Assail builds. Once you're at max stacks, it should be pretty consistent to 2-shot both gunner types. And so if you see a bunch of them, you can do things like this. So your ability to deal with gunners at range is just phenomenal on this build. Another thing that I think it's worth pointing out is that Assail also suppresses. So that's just really good. What about those targets that Assail isn't good for? Well, the Fanning Revolver solves these problems. The Fanning Revolver benefits from Disrupt Destiny as well, and what's really good about it versus the normal revolver is its reload time. Its reload time really synergizes with the build. Its instant draw time is just very useful. Let me explain why its reload is key here. So the normal revolver takes a long time to reload. Excuse me. Well, the normal revolver takes a long time to reload. The Phantom Revolver's instant reload sort of plays into a synergy with the Assail. So Assail can run out of ammo, and you can see that it slowly regenerates. Okay, so you have a constant reloading of Assail. You have fast reloading of the Phantom Revolver, and you have instant melee of your choice. This allows you to juggle the various weapons in your arsenal and have them just about always ready for what you need to do. Here's just another demonstration of the revolver's power versus crushers, and why you should definitely consider it as a backup weapon for these encounters. Also, like I said earlier, Assail is okay versus Ragers, but the revolver crushes them, so that's why it's also a good backup for those situations. Finally, let me show you one more thing. Psychers are infamous for their lack of boss damage. Oops. Look at this. With the Phantom Revolver and Disrupt Destiny stacks, you deliver definitely acceptable boss damage. Even as I lose the stacks here, this is still pretty good. There's many matches with Zealots and other classes that specialize in boss damage where I've come out on top for boss damage with this revolver. So, highly recommend as a secondary for Assail.
His grenades aided him little. You cannot run from me!